I think this is the closest thing we are ever going to get to a full computer operating system in a tablet-like format. This is the new Microsoft Surface Pro 11, and this has been my everyday 2-in-1 computer in the last week. Now, there is a misconception that a 2-in-1 computer is not practical. Now, I don't know if that applies to just Windows, but the iPad is a perfect example of a 2-in-1 that actually works. So who is this laptop for and who should buy this? I will cover everything in this video and give you guys a different outlook on the Surface Pro 11 and see if it's a viable product. So let's get into it. Hey guys, my name is Coinsola, but you can call me KJ. So, a computer that can also be a tablet. Now, I look at this and I believe Microsoft is trying to have its cake and eat it at the same time by marketing this as a better alternative to the iPad. Now, as much as some people may disagree, there is a market share that can be taken from Apple, and the Surface Pro 11 in some way has a better hardware design in my opinion. Holding this for the first time without the extra keyboard accessories, it is around 2 pounds in its weight, so it does have some sort of heaviness to it. Now the sides and the entire body is aluminum with a matte finish that repels fingerprint marks and smudges, which is a plus. Now, it comes in 4 colors as the Surface laptop does, which are Sapphire, Platinum, Black, and Dune. Now I have mine here in Sapphire, which is unique in its own way, but I think this is what most people are going to get. On the sides are 2 Thunderbolt 4 USB Type-C ports that is capable of up to 40 gigabits per second speeds, and the charging port on the right is pretty good, but we'll talk about the battery very soon. On a personal level, I was sort of disappointed with the 2 extra USB-C ports because this laptop is geared towards productivity, so it would make more sense if this had an SD card slot over another USB-C port, but that's just me, and I think it is a wasted opportunity. Okay, where Apple fails with its design on the iPad Pro is where the Surface Pro excels in thanks to the flap. Can I call it a flap? I think I'm going to call it a flap. Anyway, the flap is one of the best things about the Surface Pro because you can use it in different options and different positions. Pause. For example, you can use this as a second monitor. So if you have documents that you want to see while also working, you can use this. You can use this to watch movies on the plane or even on your lap. Or better yet, you can use this on your table flat and it becomes your sketchbook or your notebook when you're using Co-Creator, which we're going to talk about very soon. So if we're being objective, this is just the same design as the last Surface Pro with shiny new colors. But that can also be said about a lot of devices in 2024. Because if it ain't broke, you don't have to fix it. If you then add the keyboard plus the pen, then this becomes the computer you want it to be. However, the keyboard is not cheap. It'll set you back about 450 to 500 USD alone. The price is not something I agree with because this becomes more expensive than the Surface laptop with the same specs. But if we're looking past that, then the keyboard and the typing experience is honestly better for me than the Surface laptop itself, thanks to the Alcantara fabric that makes it warm to my touch. It is a nice change of pace than the aluminum or even stainless steel each time. But one thing you should know is you have to take good care of the Alcantara fabric because it gets dirty and ugly very quickly. I've had a personal experience with the Surface laptop too a few years ago, so that is something to take note of. And if you're still watching this far, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have been getting a lot of comments on people asking me why I only have 19,000 subs when I make very good videos. So this is your time for you guys to change that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, as this goes a long way for this video to reach a lot of people. I can wait actually. You know what, I'm gonna wait. Let's count 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, make sure you subscribe. And with that, let's get back into the video. I really enjoyed my time with the display. It is 13 inches with a 120Hz refresh rate. It also has a 2880 by 1920 OLED panel with about 500 nits of brightness, which is good for its size and on par with the iPad. Now, just like what Apple did with the 2024 iPad Pro, the Surface Pro 11 has two screen variations depending on what processor you get. The X Plus gets an LCD display, while the X Elite, like the one I have, is an OLED display. For your everyday use, you can't do much better than this for its form factor. Watching movies, working outside, this holds up really well. Now, while the display is up there with the best of the best, the bezels, they could have been thinner. Now, they are very big in comparison to how a lot of laptops look in 2024. Now, even the Surface Laptop 7, the bezels are thinner, so I don't really think Microsoft had any excuse. A big surprise, on the other hand, was the front-facing camera or the webcam. It is very good, and it is not something I thought I would even like, but I had a video call last week, and that 1440p webcam was very good. Windows Studio Effects made sure I was centered with its auto framing feature, amongst other AI features. With meetings and presentations, I think you're gonna stand out. It does have a 10 megapixel rear camera, but let's face it, nobody is taking pictures with that if we're being honest. And I think that can be said about its performance. Generally, all Copilot+PCs are geared towards productivity, and it does a great job in that regard. But when it came to gaming, it was all over the place. Of course, you can play games with this. Forbes have highlighted a few games you can play like Witcher 3 or even Bioshock. I'll leave a link in the description below. But I'm a first-person shooter kind of guy, so games like Apex, for example, did not work because it was not available for Windows for ARM. So if your games have been coded to x86 in the past, it will not work for the time being. There is word that it may change in the future, but it is highly unlikely that the devs will recode their games for ARM. But you never know, money does talk. Now, if we're moving away from gaming and just want to focus on performance, it has been pretty good. On some occasions, you do get the few hiccups here and there, but that is completely fine. Full disclosure, I have the Snapdragon X Elite processor with 16 gigs of RAM with about 512 gigs of unremovable SSD. Now, when I got this laptop, I wanted to immerse myself in everything Microsoft. So instead of using Google Chrome, I decided to use Microsoft Edge. Edge is equipped with Copilot, so you get all those perks while you're working directly. If you want to watch a video and learn about personal finance like I do, either through maybe Dave Ramsey or Caleb Hammer, I can just summarize and highlight a video, and it is surprisingly accurate. I mean, sure, it won't capture everything the video is talking about, but it is a nice foundation to either keep watching or just watch something else. Using more intensive apps like CapCut or even Premiere Pro, they were pretty good with their occasional hiccups, and if you edit videos, you know that gets very annoying very quickly, especially if you're in some kind of creative flow. The Surface Pro might not be for gaming, but when it came to AI, I think Microsoft has the right idea. Copilot+pc works just like ChatGPT, so expect it to have all those AI features that you're used to. The usual stuff like asking questions or inquiries, and with Copilot, you can then select what type of conversation styles you want to have. I usually go for precise words, especially when I'm brainstorming or having any kind of research. This is also web-based, so it does not have access to your data on your computer, so that is a plus. There is also Code Creator within the Paint apps that turns sketches into actual art in its own way. So if you're bad at sketching anything, then this will do a great job. Full disclosure, it's not something I have used in the last week or a lot of the time, but I think this is great if you have kids. I remember using Paint back in the day, so I guess the trend continues. Now with the battery life, Microsoft says this will give you 14 hours of continuous video playback, and it was close. It will last you a full day of work, maybe 7 to 8 hours, probably more depending on the kind of work you're doing. So this is close to what you can expect. I'm pretty sure I can kill this in a day if I try, but that's not how most people will use their PCs. You can then extend this by tweaking things in the battery settings. Definitely good battery life for this thin laptop. Overall, this 2-in-1 laptop is worthwhile and has a lot of things going for it. I had a good time within the last week or two thanks to the build quality, the battery life, and even the display. The keyboard and pen are expensive and should be way cheaper than what is offered, and I already kind of see people in the comments saying the M4 iPad is better because it is more powerful, which is true, but the iPad will never be a MacBook. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel as this goes a long way for me. My name is KJ, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.